I also have a plus 99 reinforced wooden stick. Solid level 1 stick on its own, but this little guy, he could do some damage. Ow, ow, ow. What webtoon series do you think of when you hear RPG system? The term stands for role-playing games, and it's become synonymous with video games as one of its most popular genres. Here are 10 of the best RPG system series that we have. Omniscient Reader. Have you ever spent a good chunk of your time memorizing a bunch of lines and little details from your favorite novel or series, only to feel like it was all for nothing? Well, not Dokja, because his favorite web novel, 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse, comes to life in the real world. I think the lesson here is to support indie creators because they might just get you through the apocalypse. During his commute, the world changed, leading to destruction, chaos, and the loss of some innocent crickets. Dokja is the only one who knows what will happen next in the world, which has a new system that is catered to otherworldly gods, who if you catch their favor, will give out rewards to help you level up. The more they like you, the more points you get to hone a specific skill. The type of power, however, depends on the god that bestows it. It's a really fun place to take the genre, especially when you factor in that Dokja already knows how the world is going to end. Coupled with the fact that characters from the book are real people now, we get to see how Dokja's real-time changes affect them. The stronger he gets, the closer he is to discovering why the web novel came to life in the first place. The Greatest Estate Developer. RPG stats are typically focused on punching through walls and, I don't know, blasting away ferocious beasts. However, this series instead focuses on more job-specific roles for its stats. What is the job, you might ask? Civil engineering. Lloyd was a normal engineer who woke up in the web novel he was reading. His new goal is now to get rich and live a comfortable life. Honestly, same, Lloyd. Hard same. He has the gift of construction, not destruction. He can survey land using supervision, build digital blueprints to run possible day-to-day scenarios his builds might face, and all his summons act as construction vehicles. Honestly, the series is just a ton of fun. The comedy is absolute gold, and its pacing is immaculate. The story's art emphasizes jokes. I mean, just look at these faces. The scenarios he gets stuck in get more absurd the more he learns about all the different nations of the world. Although comedic, we still get moments of drama and great character growth, not only from Lloyd, but from those around him as well. Seriously, Lloyd and Javier are one of the best written and well-developed friendships you're ever gonna read. Javier starts off disliking Lloyd, for good reason, but now they act like brothers. Brothers who like to bully each other. We can't recommend this series enough. Plus 99 reinforced wooden stick. This series does something shocking, revolutionary, in a league of its own. Plus 99 reinforced wooden stick takes place in an actual game. While other series take place in the real world, Jiu, our broke lead, uses the totally healthy coping mechanism of gaming and spends every second he has in the VR video game world of Chrono Life. Me and my 1500 hours in a game that rhymes with bannable bossing can relate. Anyways, we were talking about Jiu, who unintentionally uses the system in his favor. He upgrades a level 1 stick to level 99, which has a 0.0000000. Listen, it would take the whole video to say just how many zeros. What I'm trying to say is he glitched the system and takes a regular wooden stick and makes it the strongest weapon in the game. He fights the strongest boss, the entire server of players, gods, and that's all in his self-proclaimed prologue, with no pants. Who has time for pants? If you work from home, you know what I'm saying. This series' mix of comedy and in-game world-building elements definitely make for a really fun read. Boundless Ascension. The series' protagonist Han is a weakling who's unable to pass a hunter license exam. That is, until a powerful punch knocks him over to the Tower of Trials. That's right, we got a tower up in here, where he's given the opportunity to bulk up and become powerful at a cost. The tower plays with one's morality, as Han has the power of necromancy, which allows him to consume the spirits of the recently deceased and use their skills to help him climb the tower. He does briefly question if it's morally correct to be eating people's spirits in order to grow stronger, but he ultimately decides it's fine. He doesn't kill people at random, however. Just anyone who crosses him, be it a monster or human, is a welcome lunch. Han's not alone in the tower because it offers even more gruesome ways to power up, and other hunters are also bending morality. The beautiful artwork is thanks to Red Ice Studio, who you might be familiar with. You know, Omniscient Reader, Assassin's Creed Forgotten Temple. You could say that they've truly mastered the art of leveling up. Just a Goblin. This story's RPG hook lies within who the protagonist is. Normally these systems favor the player of the game, but Just a Goblin has a twist, as the power to level up goes to an NPC, who happens to be a goblin. After accidentally ending a hero's journey early, a ghost slams into Nog's chest, and boom, this goblin has a system. Nog is actually more of a brain than brawn type of fighter, as he invents a variety of gadgets to help him win, but his new abilities might be what he needs to finally unite goblins and humans. Which is gonna be hard, because humans are currently hunting goblins. This series is sure to make you look twice at your NPC's potential. Dungeons and Artifacts. This series leans heavy into traditional fantasy with its RPG system. Fantasy world? Check. Dungeons? Check. A tavern scene where Stetch, the protagonist of the series, is bartering in order to get supplies? Yeah, that's also there. Check. Stetch is a dungeon explorer who was betrayed by his party when they had him take the hit of the cursed artifact, Memento Mortem. He died instantly, but he revives. Not into the past, but 2 seconds after death by the ring. With a stick? No, there's no sticks in this one. Thus starts the unique partnership between Stetch and Memento. Their lives are intertwined, so if one dies, the other one does too. Stetch will explore a variety of dungeons to find artifacts he can feed to Memento to get unique abilities to help him get revenge on those who betrayed him. The dungeon cleaning life of a once genius hunter. Have you ever wanted to know what happens after the epic battle? Well, this series takes the focus away from the hunter and instead focuses on the dungeon cleaner. And I'm all for it. These people deserve their moment in the spotlight. Our protagonist, Jinu Kim, is a hunter who also happens to be a huge jerk. When he's assassinated, he wakes up in the past with all his abilities locked and is forced to join the Dungeon Cleaner Corp in order to unlock them. The fights are more focused on the internal politics of the hunter society. The series becomes a game of outsmarting the hunters who abuse the system and ignore the cleaners. Jinu still has an attitude, but his proficiency in cleaning is hard to ignore. His selfish act of wanting to get his OP powers back is often mistaken as him being a team player. This allows us to watch him grow from being a part of the problem to helping those who have suffered under the Hunter Society hierarchy. Mythic item obtained. This series emphasizes the importance of picking a class that complements your stats. Jaeyeon was born with a high aptitude for magic, so naturally, he chose the fighter class. Which he now regrets because he's the meat shield of his party, and all other magic users are revered. He obtains a mythic item. What? Who could see that coming? Can return to an earlier point in his life, fix his mistakes, and pick the right class. Plus, the fact that he has Odin's Eye, which allows him to copy any magic spells he sees, will definitely come in handy, as he's the only one who can prevent Ragnarok. This flip-flop of a guy is humanity's last hope. Reality Quest. This story takes place in the horrifying world of high school. Nothing is scarier. But more specifically, it takes place in the world of high school gangs. Daewon is an avid gamer who is bullied and forced to grind games for his bullies. He actually dies from overgaming, but because he was not a troll, he's given a second chance. Except this time, he has the power to use all the abilities he gathered from gaming. Daewon can now use his skills for good as he begins to take on the gang of bullies in the school and becomes a representative for the weak. But he has to be careful, as each new ability he uses takes up a significant amount of mana, which brings us back to his grinding skills, because he has to use them to come out on top. The fights are wild, as he can combine a multitude of skills like Gap Jab, 1,000 Punches, and Falcon Drop to defeat his foes. Although surreal, it does keep its high school narrative quite grounded. Honorable mentions. Before finishing this up, here are some RPG series that you said were noteworthy. I Was the Final Boss, My S-Class Hunters, World's Strongest Troll, and Doombreaker. Now, our final entry. Room of Swords. From the creator of one of my favorite series, Love Me to Death, we have a series whose RPG aspects are baked into this world, but shrouded in mystery. Gyrus is an astronaut who happens to be stranded in a world filled with monsters and magic. In his attempt to find the boss sword in order to find the Room of Swords, he teams up with a variety of characters on his journey to get the job done. I don't want to give too much away because the series' mystery is one of its major appeals. In fact, it's so mysterious that the characters are unaware that the orbs hitting them are things leveling them up. The series is influenced by classic RPGs and games of the past, and they show it off with pride. From the title card saying press start, the pixel art versions of the characters at the end, the eyeball tower, and the sun. If you know, you know. Those are just 10 of the RPG series we have, and we'd like to know what series you would recommend outside of this list. So sound off in the comments, and I'll see you next time. This list is surprisingly full of super relatable people, like we don't wear pants, we're spending a lot of time playing video games instead of our responsibilities,